Everyone knows Sauron forged the One Ring to dominate Middle-earth, but even at the height of his power, he couldn't destroy Gandalf. Both were Maiar, ancient spirits, but only one was bound by a higher cosmic law. What force could limit Sauron's might against his greatest rival? Understanding these hidden rules forever changes how we see Tolkien's world. Gandalf was not simply an old man with a staff. In Tolkien's world, he was Olorin, one of the Maiar, ancient spirits created before the shaping of the world. The Maiar served the Valar, the great powers who shaped Arda under the will of Eru Ilúvatar. Sauron too was a Maia, once counted among the wise, but he turned to darkness under Morgoth's influence. When the Valar foresaw Sauron's return, they sent 5 Maiar to Middle-earth in mortal forms. These were the Istari, or wizards, who arrived around the year 1000 of the Third Age. Their charge was clear, but their hands were tied. They were forbidden to reveal their full power or to rule over elves and men. The Valar demanded humility and restraint, fearing the ruin that Ra might had brought in earlier ages. Instead, the wizards were to guide, to encourage, and to inspire resistance to Sauron, not to dominate or to wage open war. Gandalf's strength lay hidden beneath the limitations of his body. Hunger, pain, and even death could touch him, but his spirit remained immortal, enduring beyond any physical harm. The Valar's restrictions meant that Gandalf's true power was veiled, his authority rooted in wisdom and counsel rather than displays of force. Only the Valar, or Eru Ilúvatar himself, could recall or restore him. Sauron, for all his might, had no command over a fellow Maia sent on a mission by higher powers. In this way, Gandalf's role was shaped not by what he could do, but by what he was forbidden to do, and that made him untouchable in ways Sauron could never overcome. Sauron's power was built on domination. In the chambers of Mount Doom, around the year 1600 of the Second Age, he forged the One Ring as the ultimate extension of his will. This ring was not just a weapon, it was a tool designed to enslave. Its inscription spoke plainly: one ring to rule them all, one ring to find them, one ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them. Sauron's mastery depended on subjugating others, bending every lesser will to his own, from the Nazgûl to vast armies of orcs. The ring magnified his reach, but it also locked his power into a single object, leaving him vulnerable if it was ever lost. Gandalf stood at the opposite end of this spectrum. When offered the ring at the Council of Elrond, he refused without hesitation. He understood that to wield Sauron's weapon, even with good intentions, meant becoming a tyrant. Gandalf's strength was never about control. Instead, he built alliances, inspired courage, and trusted in the free choices of others. His authority came from wisdom and the ability to unite elves, men, and hobbits against the darkness, not from fear or force. The ring's temptation was a test he passed by relying on counsel rather than coercion, showing that true power in Middle-earth was measured by the hearts one could inspire, not the armies one could command. In the black halls of Khazad-dûm, Gandalf faced the Balrog, another Maia twisted by shadow. On the bridge he stood his ground as the Fellowship fled, shattering stone with his staff, and he shouted, "You cannot pass." Both fell into the abyss and locked in battle. For 10 days they fought through darkness and fire, up the endless stair and onto the peak of Xiraxagil. There Gandalf cast down the Balrog, but he paid with his own life. His body lay broken, but his spirit did not fade. Sent beyond thought and time, Gandalf was recalled and clothed again, not by his own power, but by the will of higher authority. On March 1st of the Third Age, he returned as Gandalf the White, his mission renewed. No force of Sauron, nor any creature of Middle-earth could destroy what was sent by the Valar and restored by Eru. Gandalf's death was not defeat, but proof that his purpose could not be ended by any enemy, not even the darkest powers. In the halls of Edoras, Gandalf found a king broken by despair. Theoden, once proud, sat hunched beneath the weight of Wormtongue's poison. Gandalf's words alone shattered the shadow, restoring the king's mind and spirit without a single threat. Days later, as Helm's Deep braced for ruin, Gandalf rode from the fortress at midnight, promising aid.
At dawn on March 4th, he returned with Éomer and the riders of Rohan, turning certain defeat into victory as sunlight broke through the clouds. In Lothlorien, Gandalf's refusal of the ring echoed Galadriel's own restraint. Both saw that true leadership meant resisting the urge to dominate, even when temptation burned brightest. In Minas Tirith, as Denethor faltered, Gandalf steadied the city, guiding soldiers and citizens alike to hold fast against the siege. His power was not in spells or armies, but in awakening hope where all seemed lost. Long before these battles, Círdan the shipwright saw Gandalf's spirit for what it was. At the Grey Havens, Círdan entrusted him with Nerya, the Ring of Fire, so he might rekindle courage in weary hearts. Unlike the One Ring, Nerya's gift was to inspire, not to enslave. Through counsel, timing, and the quiet strength to lift others, Gandalf shaped the fate of Middle-earth in ways Sauron could never grasp.
Even the greatest power meets its limits when wisdom and restraint hold the line. In a world obsessed with dominance, true strength often lies in knowing when not to destroy. Share your thoughts below.